Special thanks to our sponsors for sending us to Computex 2019. What's going on, everyone? You're here in the Corsair suite at the Grand Hyatt in Taipei, and we've got a lot to show you guys regarding the Hydro X series, which is their new lineup, a full lineup of custom PC cooling hardware. This is going to be a mouthful, but you guys are going to be really impressed, I think. So let's go ahead and show off some of the stuff that they have on this first wall here. And this is pretty much every product that they offer. I don't think they've missed anything, maybe a few different SKUs, but design-wise, this is what they have. And they stress the importance of keeping the SKUs minimal. They don't want to have thousands of different SKUs up front. They want this to be very straightforward, especially for a new builder. So they actually have a configurator website. We'll show you some clips of that right now, and it is very simple to navigate. It'll show you exactly what your system will look like. You can pick your motherboard and CPU platform, all of that good stuff, and it'll basically give you a render of what it'll look like, especially if you're choosing a Corsair case to build in. So this is one of their CPU blocks called the XC7, and it is a beautiful RGB block. It does have a plastic shroud on the outside. It's black, and you can see it's got the fins and a nylon, I don't want to call it glass, but it's a transparent nylon right on top, and this nylon use is important. So they've really tested this stuff. We actually kind of hinted some of these products earlier last year and the year before that when this project was kind of starting to develop, and they ran into a lot of issues testing many different coolants. And you guys know that coolants are super finicky. You have a lot of coolants will react with a lot of different components, and that's what you don't want. You don't want that corrosion. You don't want that weird kind of gunk buildup, especially in your CPU blocks. And so they went through thick and thin to try to find a material that wouldn't crack under pressure, for one, and that's why they've used this transparent nylon. It's very resistant to those kinds of forces, whereas an acrylic would split and then start to crack because it's got a low tensile strength. Nylon is very malleable in that sense. It's you can kind of deform it, and it can stand a lot more pressure, and so that's why they've used this here. It's actually a lot more durable, very impressive from Corsair. Now, Corsair said their goal was to offer pretty much everything, again, that you would need in your first custom loop builder. If you've done this a long time, you could still go with Corsair components, and I'm actually really impressed. I've built maybe about a dozen or so hardline builds, and these components really do follow suit with what I'd expect quality-wise from Corsair, but also to kind of blend in with the rest of the industry, and in some ways exceed those expectations. So we've got radiators here. These are copper and brass rads, so no aluminum. That's a good thing. They even offer their own fittings. These have been created in conjunction with Bits Power, so if you're familiar with Bits Power fittings, these are very nice fittings here. I have experience with these, and they actually removed the logos. So in production, they told Bits Power, yeah, we don't want any logos. Bits Power said, what? You don't want any? You sure you don't even want your logo? And Corsair said, nope, we're confident they'll look really good in just that kind of bold look there, and that's what they did. So you got these nickel ones, you've also got black ones, you've got some white ones, and then coolants. They offer, I believe, 4 or 5 different colors right now. All of these coolants are created by Corsair in conjunction with Mayhem's. That's how they get some of these different colors here. You guys, I'm sure, have heard of Mayhem's, and they have a very solid reputation in this space. And then throwing you a little higher up, Kyle, we've got some of their graphics card water blocks. These are beautiful. This one is actually a Strix block, and you can see that to cool the inductors and other things over on the side, because they're pretty beefy on that card in particular, they've actually created like a separate bridge for that fluid to reach over. Every one of these blocks has a built-in flow meter, so you can see the fluid moving, especially when you're talking about transparent fluid. This is a beautiful block. Also, a design feature of theirs is that they don't have any screws with the heads on this side of the block. So if you want to turn this block sideways or vertically like they've done here, you're not going to see any screw heads. And to show off all of these sweet components, everything in here, again, Corsair when it comes to the custom cooling. So again, they've offered pretty much everything you'll need for your first custom loop. This is a soft tube bend. We've got 2, I believe these are Vega 56 graphics cards, and they're dedicated blocks. And then you can see the subtle Corsair branding looking very nice. I like the RGB. It's subdued. It's enough. What I really like is the CPU block with that kind of RGB underglow, so it'll light up the perimeter of the block on the motherboard itself, looking mighty fine. This, by the way, is an X570 build, so you'll see builds like this very soon, around July, August, I'm sure, on a lot of different TechTuber channels. But this build is really nice. I like the color scheme. And again, just to show you what all of these components look like when they are kind of blended together. Also, a nice little Easter egg here. What does this look like to you guys? If you show them from the top, Kyle, from the top down, what does that look like to you? That looks like Corsair Dom Platt's DDR4, doesn't it? And so they've actually taken the exact same design cue. They've made this the exact same way, this kind of brushed metal, and they've included that for the bridge mounts for each of these graphics card water blocks. So very subtle things that they've done to really set these off, distinguish their brand from other competitors, and the prices are actually fairly competitive. You get backplates included with their graphics card water blocks, something you won't find from other companies out there, and you get like mounting hardware when you buy the reservoir pump combo. You get all the included sensors, things you'd expect when you're paying this much for an expensive custom cooled build. Corsair has honestly done a great job here. And to top things off, they're going to send us a HydroX kit so we can build our own custom loop. Yeah, so this will be really exciting. My first time actually getting to build with Corsair custom cooling components. It just sounds so weird. But you know, they make premium products, and it just feels like they told me that they didn't like the fact that they had to use other companies' custom cooling components for their builds. And so they said, we can do that. We'll do it ourselves. So they've done a great job so far, and I can't wait to build. Stay tuned for that video and more coverage here at Computex 2019. You guys have been awesome. Thanks for watching, and thanks for learning with us.